What is going on, gang? We are back. It is a YouTube Play of the Day live show today. Obviously, no Pass the Prop. I believe Stu is coming back into town today, so obviously not able to pop on here. So I wanted to make sure still able to answer questions, still able to get out some plays for you guys. It's a lot easier doing it in the live version than it is to just do a recording and drop it there. So done one of these right last week. I believe we went 1-1 on those. And today we're back again. 2 plays, 1 long shot, like I normally would. Got to get some plus money in there. But yeah, very, very excited. It's a really good slate. Very tough DFS slate tonight, just with all of the Coors Field. The Cardinals total is like 7. I don't even know if I like that, dude. I don't even know if I can play anything there. It's just so high owned. And crazy stuff there. I do almost like the Angels better than I do like the Cardinals today. And I mean, it's going to be a hot take because everybody likes the Cardinals, but I don't hate German Marquez. He's been a guy who's been good to me. So I might be either at the way bottom of all of my contests or I'll be at the way top. I'm not going to be very much in the middle with crazy ownership going to Coors like every single time. So I'm going to just get on into it a little bit here, go over last show that I did like this, and obviously by next time, hopefully we'll have Stu back, and we'll be back to the Pass the Prop grind that we know and love here. So first one, I believe, was Nola and Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker did get a hit. I believe Nola had 5 Ks and ended up getting pulled. So that was unfortunate. I believe Yandy Cease did come through. Cease did not throw well, but got his strikeouts. And then obviously Yandy has been an absolute machine. I'm kind of pissed about this one. I tweeted this out on Wednesday, I think it was. Abreu hit a ball 408 feet to center field. End up missing it because he hit it to the furthest part of this ballpark and obviously was unable to get that one out of there. And I believe Kyle Tucker's hit ended up going 90 feet shorter than Jose Abreu's, and his went out, and obviously Abreu's didn't. So just the luck thing coming through. And yeah, I'm coming back to it today with a combo play for one, and then obviously I'm going to do one straight play that I really like. And I'm really going to be excited talking about it because it's a guy I've been really high on. And now everybody else is kind of coming around to him. Obviously, I was one of the guys who had him as a future bet, and I'm excited to talk about him a little bit here. But if you guys could, about 20 of you guys in here, if you could hit that like button, I really appreciate it. And again, if you guys have questions, drop them in the chat. I've gone through the whole slate. I already have my DFS lineup made preemptively. Obviously, with news coming out and weather changes, I'll be switching that up. Coming shortly here. Obviously, I'm sure we're going to have a lot of news coming around here later today. So without further ado, let's get it started. I don't want to take up too much of your Monday afternoon, but obviously want to talk about some winners here. So let's get right into it. Okay, usually I have Stu there to kind of talk when I have one of those, but don't have him today. And let's get to it. So first one, I'm going Shane Bieber, Corey Seager combo here. This is a FanDuel line. It's minus 126 at the moment. So still a pretty good price. I love Shane Bieber today. Obviously, he's not on the DFS slate that I will be playing, but facing off against the Yankees, I'm going to have a ton of swings and misses in this lineup. Obviously, I don't like Volpe in there. I don't really like Rizzo in there, but obviously, DJ LeMahieu has been swinging at having a swinging strike rate higher than he normally does. Aaron Judge not doing as well in terms of the swings and misses. He's still swinging and missing quite a bit. Looking at Shane Bieber's numbers, even at last year, right? Home road splits, he's pretty damn good either way, right? Obviously, it doesn't really matter as much when you're this elite. He is at home, so we'll go off of those numbers. 3.22 ERA, 77 Ks in 81 innings there. But this guy goes deep in games, right? I'd be surprised to see him under 6 innings, K per inning with this lineup. I mean, if you have Trevino in there, that's a high strikeout guy. Donaldson, I think he might be in or out. He's been kind of off and on here. in that lineup. And obviously Stanton's going to have the swing and miss upside as well. Harder park to hit in by 5-6 times, right? Cleveland plays way bigger. Going to be colder there than probably in New York. And also a really big field downgrade for offenses here. Really like Shane Bieber's stuff. And obviously that slider is still a huge swing and miss pitch. And obviously he's getting a lot of innings, right? They're giving him probably one of the longest leashes in baseball, which is something I really like to attack when it comes down to a guy that I need strikeouts with. Corey Seager facing off against Zach Greinke tonight. I'm a guy, right, that if you watched last year, you guys know home road for Cole Irvin. Too bad he's out in Baltimore. Zach Greinke is right up on that list, right? He is on the road today facing off against Texas. And I love fading Zach Greinke on the road. I mean, I feel like that is not something that you guys hearing this are going to be like, oh, that's crazy, right? No, I did this a lot last year. On the road against lefties last year, he had a 300 batting average against with a 418 slugging. Against righties on the road last year, 541 slugging. I expect Texas to take it to him today, to be honest. Just looking at his numbers and like the movement on his pitches, not great, right? I mean, the slider is almost 4 inches worse than average in the MLB. That curveball obviously is super slow, but 73 miles an hour, it's going to be tough to get that by these hitters, right? There's just really no swings and misses in his arsenal, right? It's not like he is trying to get you to swing and miss, right? The slider in that first game had a 39% whiff rate, but last year he threw this obviously 168 times last year and only had a 24% whiff rate. So I think that was obviously just something that was in the game plan was to attack with sliders. And obviously it worked, but man, dude, Seager's too good of a hitter. Throwing that slider coming into his barrel there as well as a left-handed hitter. I like the top of this lineup. Obviously the bottom of this lineup is very, very hit or miss. I mean, it borderline bad after the fifth hole in the lineup, but Seager does have protection, right? You have Simeon at the top, Seager, Adolis, Nate Lowe. Jung hopefully will pop into how good he was projected to be as a huge prospect. So should have that behind him as well. So you can't really walk him because Adolis obviously has elite speed and elite power. But yeah, I think the top of the order has to do this damage. I think they do it early. I think Seager gets this done right away. And I'm not really afraid of that bullpen outside of Aroldis Chapman. And I think this is going to be an actually really fun game, right? In Texas, Andrew Heaney is, I don't really know how to describe him. He's if he throws the ball in the zone, it's either a swing and a miss or a 450-foot nuke, or it's a walk, right? It's really that simple. Strikeout, home run, walk. Those are really his outcomes, the three true outcomes that he could have. So should be a fun game. I'm really looking forward to watching it. But if I had to pick something in this game that I want, I'm going to take Corey Seager here to get a hit for us and come through against Zach Greinke on the road. All right, now looking like there's too many questions in there, not much going on in there. If you guys have any questions, drop them in there. I'm about to get to play number 2. Yes, let's get to it. And I'm going to my guy here. You guys know how high I was on Luis Castillo coming into this season. And obviously every one of my best ball leagues is paying off. I'm in first place in like over half of them because every single one of them I drafted Luis Castillo. I was probably the reason that your ADP for Luis Castillo kept going up because it was me. I was grabbing him in like the fourth round, fourth round, trying to grab him as quick as humanly possible because this dude is sensational and obviously getting out of Great American Ballpark is huge, right? Luis Castillo has been absolutely lights out. Obviously has not a lot of run this year. I am also playing. This is for you guys, you 27 people in here watching. I did post in my VIP chat too as well. I'm on his under hits allowed. I'm doubling up both plus money. I get it. A lot of people are going to talk about the hitting numbers against him from some of these Cub guys, right? You look at these numbers. Luis Castillo has faced these guys obviously a lot as a Reds pitcher. Bellinger is 2 for 13, obviously 150 batting average. Not really worried there. Ian Happ, 8 for 25. But Ian Happ is very well known to crush Reds pitching. I think it completely changes with him in this new uniform, and obviously his stuff has taken even a bigger step forward. Dansby Swanson, 3 for 13. Eric Hosmer, 6 for 25. Another guy who was very, very good against the Reds. So I'm not really worried about those old numbers as much as a lot of people are. But what I am really worried about, obviously, is Luis Castillo obviously has an extremely high strike rate. It's pushing 30% now. Cubs don't strike out that much, which is kind of concerning for my under hits and under earned runs. But these dudes' ISO is like 101 against right-handed pitching. They have absolutely no pop versus right-handed pitching. You don't even really have to worry about the home run ball right now against righties because they've just been hitting singles, right? They're not really doing anything to scare you, to give you that power. They give you the slugging percentage that you really have to worry about with these earned runs. To say a team can string together 3 hits in a row against Luis Castillo is something I'm willing to bet on any day of the week, right? And this guy's stuff is that good. Just looking at pure number standpoint, his fastball sitting at 95 miles an hour in that first outing. Sinker was actually faster at 95.4. He's actually down in velo, and he's still getting this amount of whiff, 41.5% whiff on his four-seam fastball. Last year, it was 33.7, and his fastball is actually down. That means his fastball velo is down, which means his location is phenomenal. He's working down in the zone. Obviously, that slider is taking that step up in terms of usage that his changeup used to take. And that slider, again, 37% whiff rate last year. This year, 27%. But expected batting average on all of his pitches are extremely, extremely low. You look at expected batting average for his changeup is 200. His expected batting average on his four-seam fastball is 0.45. Nobody has gotten a hit off of his four-seam fastball, and he has a 0.91 batting average against his sinker. That is unbelievable. This dude's stuff is crazy. It moves everywhere. He's got an elite slider now. His changeup has never left. It's one of the best in baseball. This Cubs team does not have the power to put the ball out of there, so you're not really worried about the 2-3 run jacks that you usually would have to do in Wrigley, right? So really, really, really like Luis Castillo today. I'm not going to be on the strikeouts. The Cubs do put the ball in play. Obviously, you have a few guys who can get you some swings and misses, like your Bellingers. You can go down the list, but I like Nico Horner for no strikeouts. Hosmer is very tough to strike out. So I'm not going to be playing the strikeouts that I thought I would, but I will be on the under earned runs, under hits, because I feel like the strikeout number is going to get hit pretty hard just because of those numbers that the Cubs are putting up in terms of not striking out. So his stuff is elite. Strikeouts might not be there, but I want to back him as much as humanly possible. Under 1.5 earned runs. And again, for the 25 of you guys in here, I will be on the under 4.5 hits allowed at plus 115 as well. Love this look. I think this is a great spot. I mean, yeah, dude, the Greinke numbers are wild. If you look at his home road splits, it's wild. And I expect that same thing to happen this year. I expect Greinke to struggle. Dude's like 39, 40 years old, going 86 miles an hour. Obviously, I know his slider is taking a step up in terms of usage again. Yeah, I would be afraid too to be throwing strikes when I'm not even able to touch 90. So you got to really be able to pitch. But yeah, I'm really, really high on the Rangers tonight. I think to be contrarian tonight on the slate, I might be looking at that Texas Rangers lineup. I might be looking at this Luis Castillo throw in there as well as one of my starting pitchers. But there's a couple of these teams that if you're going to go away from Coors, have the ability to have the upside. Obviously, the Angels are going to be well talked about here as well. That might be finding my way to cash those, hopefully, on my DFS lineups and staying away from Coors, which is a very, very, very bold thing to do. And like I said, I'm either going to get crushed or I'm going to have a pretty good night. So I'm a little more fan of a Marquez, Matz, Coors game. That Rockies lineup is ugly. That lineup is bad, dude. I really want to back the Rockies as much as possible, but I bet them in that first 5. They couldn't score. It's just, dude, after their first 4 hitters, it is a huge drop-off, even though my boy Ezequiel Tovar is batting 9 for them. I love him. I love his game, but it's tough to back this team with how big of a drop-off that defense or that offense has had over the last 3 years. So, tough. Yeah, it's Patty Corbin Day. I'm sure everybody will be on the Angels. And I mean, how can you disagree with that, right? I mean, I'm curious how that's going to go in terms of ownership for DFS with Jose Suarez on the other side. Is that just a full-on game stack? There's a lot of things that can happen here. It's gonna be fun. I'm really excited for this slate because these really hard slates are the ones where I have the most fun when it's not like 90% chalk on some of these guys, right? So should be a good slate. Obviously, I have Max Scherzer on the slate as well, so it should be fun. All right, 15 minutes in, guys. I want to keep it around 20. So let's go through a quick recap. And if you guys have questions, get them in there. I will try my best to get to every single one of your questions if you have any. But let's do our recap. Let's get to it right here. We are on Shane Bieber, 6 strikeouts, and Corey Seager to record a hit at -125. Jumped on the juice there, but we're going to some plus money on this one at under 1.5 earned runs for my boy Luis Castillo of the Seattle Mariners now. Really need him to start picking up those wins. We need that Seattle bats to wake up a little bit. Seeing as we have his wins leader line, I think I have as like 32-1, right? So we need those wins to come through. He's been throwing absolutely phenomenally, so hopefully we can continue to see him do that in the Mariners to come through on these. And then let's take a look at my long shot for today. Home run spot, I'm going Taylor Ward. I don't know why there was an S in there, but Taylor Ward home run is going to be my long shot for the day, plus 500. I had a plus 830, guy gets a double. I had plus 500 last time, dude hits it 408 feet. I'm going back to it. I'm on the fade Patrick Corbin train as well. How do you not want to back this guy when Patrick Corbin's expected ISO is actually 30 points higher than what his actual ISO is, and it's over 200 to righties. 200 is terrible, right? And he was actually getting lucky, right? He's actually getting lucky, which is unbelievable for how bad he has been, right? We look at his numbers versus lefties. And last year, he only had 142 at-bats against lefties. He ended up having 4 home runs there. Obviously, a lot more plate appearances against right-handed pitching, but you have Trout behind him. You have Ohtani behind him. Ward already has 2 home runs on the year. He hasn't hit one at home. Obviously, this park is going to play up. It's going to be hot there tonight as well. I do really like the home run spots here for the Angels, but I feel like the numbers are going to get smashed on your Ohtanis. They're going to get destroyed on Trouts. But what's the incentive? Like, I think they're going to have to pitch to Ward. I don't think he's going to try and pitch that much to Trout and Ohtani, right? Maybe a little bit more to Ohtani, but I can't get myself to wrap my head around why he would pitch to Mike Trout, right? I guess Rendon is there as well, which makes this lineup a little bit deeper. I do actually really like Logan O'Hoppe. I think that's going to be more of a DFS play for me if I'm going to play him. I don't know if I'm going to take him as a home run spot, but plus 700 is definitely a spot I want. If I'm going to have a guy take 2 to 3 at-bats from Patrick Corbin with the amount of power he's given up this year, love it. I almost think if O'Hoppe's batting in that 5-6 spot, which I don't know anymore with Rendon just coming back yesterday, maybe it's more of an RBI spot just because the bases are going to be filled. But I really like Taylor Ward. I wouldn't even be surprised to see it as leadoff homer, right? I mean, this dude has quick hands. He looks phenomenal to start this season. I saw something, I think, like the top 3 in the order have like an over 1,100 OPS combined, which is obviously Ohtani, Trout, and Ward. After that, obviously, a huge drop-off. So hopefully they can take that step forward, the rest of the team. But I can't get away from Ward, especially if he's going to give me 3 at-bats versus Patrick Corbin. I'm really, really pumped to watch this one and hopefully make some money with the Angels tonight. So not doing the first 5 team total on them. It's juiced to hell. I'm not going to be taking Trout. Not going to be taking Ohtani. Everybody's going to be there. So sign me up for some Taylor Ward. I'm going to be a little different today and back a guy leading off for the Angels against Patrick Corbin. So, again, full recap. Shane Bieber, 6 strikeouts to go along with Corey Seager to record a hit at -125 FanDuel. Luis Castillo on DraftKings, under 1.5 earned runs. Bonus play is under 4.5 hits at +115. And my long shot's going to be Taylor Ward to hit a home run tonight against Patrick Corbin at +500. I don't have access to Caesars. I know you guys always message those Caesars ones. I don't have any access to that. So if you have Caesars, go grab that +650. That is unbelievably ridiculous line on anybody hitting off of Patrick Corbin. So definitely a spot to grab there. And thank you guys. Appreciate you guys popping on here. Obviously, I know it's a little late notice, real quick. 20 plus you guys in here on this late notice spot. I believe Sue should be back for Wednesday on Pass the Prop. So we should be back to our normal broadcast time over there. I think we might be doing an earlier time just because Wednesday's full of those early slate games. So make sure you follow me over on Twitter if you haven't already. Obviously, I know most of you guys pretty well over there. So make sure you guys do have that notification bell on, because I think we might be doing it early just because all the good games are early on Wednesdays, which sucks. Obviously, travel day for a lot of teams, but do love this slate. Think it's going to be fun. Thank you guys. Thank all of you guys. We appreciate you. And I will be back. If you guys have any questions, message them on here. Message me on Twitter. Hopefully, I'll be able to answer any of them for you guys. So have a good one, guys. Best of luck, and thank you guys for joining me on this little impromptu live show. So have a good one. Peace.